Problem 1.1, Out to Lunch, is the first part of the investigation in our new unit, Decimal Ops. Before we jump into the problem, we're going to talk a little bit about what we will learn in Decimal Ops and in Investigation 1. So the goals of the day, GTD, whoop whoop, are to introduce the unit, Decimal Ops. Then we'll introduce Problem 1.1, Out to Lunch. You'll get some practice, and then there'll be some homework, which is included in this presentation, and it's also included in the assignment separately. What you need, get out your Decimal Ops textbook, turn to page 7, get a pen and a pencil, and obviously you have your iPad, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this. Hit pause, get what you need, and then when you're ready, hit play. In the unit Decimal Ops, you're going to really learn and focus on 3 things. Number 1, recognizing which operations will be helpful to solve problems. And then that's what we're going to actually start out with in Investigation 1, is just figuring out what operations we need to use, whether we add, subtract, multiply, or divide. And then we're going to make approximate guesses. So we're going to estimate. So a lot of what we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to estimate. So when you walk into a store and you're going grocery shopping and you have $20, you can estimate by the things that you grab, the things that you think you need, to make sure they have enough money. And then we'll, of course, follow up with exact computations. And then we're going to perform exact calculations using efficient methods. Sometimes it'll be an algorithm or a formula that we use, a procedure that we use. And sometimes there's going to be just times that it makes sense to use calculators. So that's what you're going to get. Now, let's move on to Investigation 1. For problem 1.1, Out to Lunch, in the first investigation, the question that we are trying to answer is, how do we decide which operation to use to solve a real world problem? So you're going to be presented with a number of problems, and your first thing is going to be, the first question you're going to ask yourself is, what do I need to do to solve it? Do I need to add the numbers? Do I need to subtract them? Do I need to multiply? Do I need to divide? And then before you use a calculator to find the exact answer, how can you estimate that? And so we're going to review some problems and practice. To get started, I want you to read this page. Read page 7, starting with whole numbers, decimals, and percents. Pause here and read. Once you're finished, you can hit play and move on to the next slide. So now I want you to turn to page 8, and let's read this together. Draymond's mother gave him $20 to take his brother and sister to lunch. They ordered a pizza for $13.95 and 3 drinks that cost $2.25 each. Does Draymond have enough money to pay the bill? And which operation should Draymond use to find the cost of the lunch? Hit pause and think about this. When you think you have the answer, hit play. So what strategy did you use? So right away I looked at, there was 1 pizza for $13.95 and 3 drinks for $2.25 each. So I rounded up that pizza to $14, so I knew that was $14. And then for starters, I used each drink at $2. And you could add the 3, you could go 2, 4, 6. I went 2 times 3 is 6. So I had 14, add $6, right? So I'm at $20. But what I know is that each drink was a little over $2. So I already know that because I didn't round up, I rounded down, that I don't have enough money. Now, what operations did I use? I used addition and I used multiplication. Which one did you use? Now it's your turn. Problem 1.1. For questions A through E, I want you to identify the operations that you need to use to answer the questions. And then I want you to use mental arithmetic, a calculator, or some other method to find the exact answers. And then I want you to write a number sentence, right? So what operation do you use? write a number sentence, and then solve it. So you're going to do that for 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to continue on to the next slide and do the same thing for parts B, C, D, and E. I want you to pause the video here and get out your paper and get out a calculator and practice. See what you can do. I will provide an answer key for each of these, but before you go to that, try. And remember, like we always say, struggle is good. Work with it. As long as that struggle is productive, as long as you feel like you're getting closer. When that struggle turns negative and it becomes unproductive, then check for the answers. So, you could use subtraction or you could use addition, depending on the way you saw it. I've solved it both ways for you. Which method did you use? With this one, you need to look at the numbers, at the results from A1, because you need the women's record holder and you need the men's record holder. And then it becomes addition. With this one, again, you need the women's record holder time of 47 6/10 for 400 meters. But you know it's going to be less because you need to know how much it is for 100 meters. And to do that, you need to look at how many times does 100 go into 400. For B, you've got $28.49 for 7.5 gallons. So you know how much it is for all 7.5 gallons, but how much is it for one? So it becomes division. For C, they give you a clue because they ask you the area. And we know from covering and surrounding that area is length times width. So it becomes multiplication. For D, you now know the cost of 1 gallon, but you need to know how much it costs for 9.8 gallons. But there's a trick in this one, or not a trick, but there's a first step in this one. There's a discount. So you have to figure out what that discount is first. So you subtract, then you multiply. In this one, you need to find out first how many pounds you bought in total. So that's going to lead you to addition. But then you have the unit rate of $3.25 per pound. So we know it's $3.25 for 1 pound. How many is it for 3.91 or 3 91 hundredths pounds? That becomes multiplication. All right, so now it's your turn. These are the 3 problems that you're going to solve for your homework. So the first thing I want you to do is write a number sentence for the problem. Then I want you to estimate your answer. Think about a strategy of how you could estimate. And then you can use a calculator, or if you want to use a formula, an algorithm to solve it in the end, you can do that. But let's do the first one together. Let's walk through it. So Luis buys supplies for the Imagination Fair. He has $15.95 to spend. He buys glue for $2.95, building blocks for $7.59, and craft sticks for $2.50. How much money does he have left after he pays for the items? So we know how much he has to spend, but the first thing we need to do is figure out what the $2.95, the $7.59, and the $2.50 equals. So what operation would we use for that? Addition, right? Cool. So we know it's going to be addition. We know we're going to add the 3 numbers together, but let's do an estimate. So for $2.95, is that closer to 3 or is that closer to 2? It's closer to 3, right? For our building blocks, we got $7.59. Is that closer to 8? Is it closer to 7? You could even say it's closer to $7.50. For now, let's just be safe and round up. Let's say $8. And then we'll leave the craft sticks at $2.50. So we know we've got $3 for the glue, 8 for the building blocks. 3 at 8 is 11. And then 11 add 250 is $13.50. So we could even say $14, right? So it's going to cost about $14. 13 to 14. Let's say 14. He's got $15.95 to spend, so 16. So he's probably going to have around $2 left. What's this going to do? This is going to help you ballparks, because sometimes the calculator isn't always right. Sometimes you might enter in something wrong. Sometimes you might, there can be human error with it. So it's good to get that ballpark estimate. So we know the answer is going to be around $2. So now I want you to figure out what the exact answer is. Then work on 2 and 3, take a picture of your work, and submit it to the class assignment.